All right, three, two, one, go. Here we are. Thank you for joining me for another amazing drawing commentary. Starting off with a wet canvas, as usual. Glad to be here and good idea. And we're going bold with a big Sharpie guy. I had this vision in my mind of the big chunky idol figure taking up most of the screen. Great idea. Now, what is a giant idol without worshippers? Facts. This little guy down here is going to have his arms stretched up towards the heavens, the joyful face, one follicle of hair, like Tommy Pickles. With another person over here kneeling down on their knees, as one should, praying in awe to this character. Now, to really give some perspective as to how tall this character is, how about a helicopter? Good idea. Just in case you thought those little guys down there were like toy figurines or something like that. Like toy soldiers. Great song, NMM. Now, this theme, this painting right here, definitely inspired by Heart of Darkness. Great book. Story. Apocalypse Now. Great movie. Not to give any spoilers away. Thanks. So the sun shining right smack dab in the center of the screen of the canvas, with the river flowing out of it to imply like a nature scene, and to emphasize the Eastern influence. There's a pagoda type structure with Chuck Norris like figure, rest in peace, doing a high kick on top of it. What a legend. With a bandana blowing in the wind. Looks like a Christmas tree. Giving some water effects and really solidifying the water idea with this funny looking turtle. I like it. Almost had some trouble with the shells, but was keeping it geometric. Looks good. Very happy looking. Now here I started to go for like an eyeball. You can see that was like the eyelid and that's the iris, but I didn't commit. I instead figured that the eyelid kind of looked like the top of a teeth of a piranha plant, and so I drew the one from Super Mario Brothers. I can see it now. You were right. Good call. I really enjoyed drawing this character as a kid, so I remember how to do the leaves and the vines. Muscle memory. It comes right back to you, like riding a bike. I believe the name is piranha plant. And you know they come out of the warp pipes. Everybody know that. Brought that in. Look at that attention to detail. Nice. Giving him the top lip and the bottom chin. And so kind of figured out what to do with the iris that I drew earlier. Decided surfboards. Going on with the Apocalypse Now theme. Great call. Great idea. And definitely recognizing that there is a difference in a tone between the left and right sides of the panel. Yeah, one's angry and one's happy. Seems like there's a lot of chaos and violence on the right, and then peace and harmony on the left, or so it seems. And so I'm fleshing out the eye line that I started with the sun and the river. Good call. Solidifying this nature vibe
Very natural.
Drawing some nice happy clouds to give perspective.
I like it.
Now, are they cumulus or some other kind?
The big ones are in front, the small ones are in the back. That's what matters.
So behind this character, putting in some sort of image that represents abundance, deciding that crops would do a job of it.
True.
I like how the details come into play as the crops get closer to the viewer.
Smart. I can see that.
Relying heavily on this Sharpie felt tip, a fine point. Oh, what's that doing there? Toss that away. Hello, me.
Hi, me. Good to see you. Is that an alien? What's going on here?
I wasn't fully committing to drawing an entire crowd of people. Rather, a few people would be fine.
Tactical.
That one's holding a book, as you can see. Holding up some sort of healing hands.
With the right hand. Books in the left.
Wearing some sort of monk garments. These people have to be coming from somewhere. It is easy to imply that they had exited the pagoda on the right side and crossed this bridge after traveling down that rocky path.
Storytelling.
To then stand in awe at the beautiful sight.
Ultimate Showdown reference. Pretty obscure. Not the song, but the reference.
Being mindful with where I put my details. This guy's like some sort of like druid with a staff and a hooded cloak.
Intriguing.
Adding some perspective.
Good thinking.
Seems like the viewer is looking at it from the eye line, almost, maybe from an elevated place.
You can almost hear that helicopter.
Seemingly above these potentially small-ish trees.
So that's storytelling. Drinking coffee.
I believe I took a coffee break there.
I did.
And decided now was a good time to start painting.
Smart.
Going back to the chalk. And I'm really glad that I did this because the chalk was nice and soft and wet, so it applied really thick onto the canvas.
I like it. Picasso.
Had such a great time of doing this specific movement of starting at the top, going towards the bottom, emphasizing the contours of the left-hand side. And I liked everything about it, so I just kept doing it until I couldn't do it anymore.
As I do regularly. Looks like energy passing through the idol.
Really gives the giant idol a feeling of electricity, almost pulsing through the figure, all the way from the feet to the top of the head. And inspiration really struck me here when I decided to mix the paint on the chalk, use the rest of it with the brush.
Genius.
I was saving the brush stroke pattern for something later, not intentionally, but you're gonna like what you see near the end.
Foreshadowing.
When I decide to add some grass. And so smearing the paints on heavy with the end of the chalk. Really enjoying how it's flowing. Seems like almost like a water horse or something, or some sort of, seems like a mystic creature that's just floating above the sky, the way that it worms through in between the clouds.
Like a sky horse. Or a serpent.
And so the paint was applied pretty thick here. Flip the chalk around, go for a more detailed approach rather than smearing it all across with one brush.
One brush.
Adding some texture to the paint, giving some waves and some, as you can see, the line work that's like starting at the sun and shooting outwards, and starting at the idol head and shooting upwards. So we're going to go with the brown, and we're just going to smear the bottom of the canvas. Of course, this makes my life a little bit harder because I can't put my forearm down, but we're done adding the details anyways. So I accepted the challenge.
You're not going to see the smear, but you will if you see the final painting. It's just not in.
So on this one, using the darker blue for the river, using the white chalk to apply it, focusing on those details, using the paint to create the texture of the water. And this part was kind of dicey because I wanted to keep the turtle visible, so full effort, switched the side of the chalk that I was using on, and I started taking away the paint instead of applying it on.
Genius.
You could still kind of see the turtle.
Thoughtful.
Very
Amazing.
pleased with that.
Me too. You can still see the turtle, but some of the details are lost.
And now you can see the turtle's just kind of hiding underneath the water, you know, in her own little world, away from all of this idol worship that's happening above the water line.
Have to be a soft shell given the area, but that would imply that she's near
The
a lake.
piranha plant is also kind of
Don't listen to me.
hissing and reeling back away from the idol. So interesting how seems like the natural world is resisting. Putting in that red, reminiscent of that mushroom from the last one.
I started getting tired, so I just started smearing it like crazy.
Really like how the red pops, especially in contrast to the light blue.
Watch, I'm about to ruin that vine right now.
Now I use the same green for the palm trees and the warp pipe. Using what I have, making the most of what's available.
Yeah, there goes all those
tactics.
details. That's great. Well, at least you saw it before it was, gone forever.
Again, I'm hoping that I can maintain the details that were driven or drawn earlier.
I don't.
The paint kind of overshadows them.
Yeah, just
It's okay.
smash it all together. That works.
You can still kind of see the line work of the vine and the leaves.
It's not too bad.
Not really happy with how the green was applied.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
But I accept it. Again, when I applied this yellow, I was hoping that it stayed thick in the center and then thinned outwards, but it did the opposite. So I just decided to go to the old method of dabbing the paint right onto the canvas.
I can really hear that helicopter in the top right corner of the canvas. Oh my goodness. Maybe that thing should have been the idol. But check it out, I'm about to save the sun. Look at it. Give me a minute. I'm gonna do it. Oh, wait, that already did? I might have already done it. My bad. Just taking a second to kind of take it all in. Because I didn't want to ruin what I already done any more than I'd
I
already
believe
did.
we're approaching the stroke of genius. Here it is. Check this out. So the way that I put the paint directly onto the brush and then applied it, it looks like grass, little grass patches. Really love how this turned out. Total inspiration. I loved it so much I wanted to put it all over the canvas, but I held back. I recognized that I didn't want to do too much of a good thing.
Self-restraint. Good call.
I still had some green on the brush. I don't like to waste. So I added some to the crops over there.
Stewardship.
Added some to the tree line in the background.
It's very virtuous of you. There goes all the details of the crops.
And now I'm going to add some shading to the clouds. I do want to go back and paint the excuse me, the bridge and the pagoda. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope you have a great rest of your day. 3, 2, 1. Have an awesome